It's pretty fitting that this team is going through the main gate. Welcome back to Phantasma. It is time that we take over with Team Joshua's Harem. Yeah. So, this group has Estelle here with kind of balanced around stats as usual, a decent quartz setup here. Actually, I'm kind of going all in on single target S-craft damage with her. Her art setup is not the best, but I've got some CP regeneration on her. Joshua is kind of set up for a little bit of arts damage, a little bit of physical, like he usually is. That's his augment there. Chloe is pretty much all in on arts damage. Oh, she has the Fool's Emblem. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, because I didn't really have... Yeah, I just wanted some extra speed on her, basically. And Chloe can't really run a whole lot of good arts, unfortunately. But she can run a lot of good healing, like La Tier All. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. You can probably already tell what I did. Yes, I did indeed make Josette Zemurian Ore Weapon, because I kind of needed to make her useful. So, like, I was tempted to do it for Estelle, because I thought if I did it with Estelle, then she would have her ultimate weapon in every one of the Sky games. But then I decided, you know what? Let's make Josette actually kind of useful for once. So that's what I did. In a separate file, I found out that Josette can actually put out some pretty high damage numbers with a high strength stat and her Zemurian Ore Weapon. Also, Bobcat 2 is a pretty strong S-craft. One of the strongest in the game, so it does at least have that going for it. And her, for some reason, her having a better gun is gonna automatically mean that her, airship is stronger, for some reason. Yeah, levels are a little lopsided here because Estelle and Joshua went through the abyss. So this is going to be a bit of an odd party to use. But we do get Estelle and Joshua again. Like, technically speaking, you can separate Estelle and Joshua, like, in the parties if you want to, but why would you be that heartless? Why would anyone be that heartless? It's just... Yeah, Estelle and Joshua, yeah, they've got to stay together. I believe I do have Haze in this party. Also, yes, Josette has the Mirror Quartz. And not so much for the mirror, but more just because, it gave her access to Zodiac. Another thing that, makes, like, you know, remember that setup that I did back in Sky SC that was, like, my one way of making Josette useful in that game? I'm kind of trying to replicate it here. Aha, statues typically means dead ends. So in here we have Zerum Powder. I'm normally not one for sappy goodbyes, but man, who knew a chest could shed tears? Another Gabriel's Aura. See you, Space Priest Boy. I think that is a Cowboy Bebop reference. S-Tablet. Trails means the world to me. I'm happy I could share my world with you. Thank you for giving me this wonderful series a chance. B. Yeah, some of the chess messages here are messages from the localizers. And it's kind of doubly heartfelt and a little sad knowing that this was the last Trails game localized by Xseed. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole Xseed versus Nisa debate because honestly, I think Nisa does a really good job, and also some of the same localization team, like a few of the most well-received translators from the Sky arc are still like on when Nisa translated the games. Good luck! Oh yeah, Josh was the only boy here. So he gets that by default. But yeah, they've kept some of the consistency there. Like that one localizer that everyone really liked. She's still working for the series with Nisa. But it does add new meaning to a lot of these messages when you realize that this was the last Trails game Xseed would localize. The chess seems displeased. Amano Madra. Don't give up, okay? Okay, Estelle's strength's looking a little better now. Oh, also, I've still got Agadon as a remote ability. Do I really want that, though, or do I want to go for more speed? I think I actually want to go for a little... No, let's not use Mueller the whole time. Let's use... I'm gonna go for Olivier's Arts boost, in fact. The enemies are plentiful enough on the rest of this place that I don't think I really need to farm those statues. Curia Balm. Thanks for saying hello. I'm going to try and be genre savvy here and predict that the central pathway is the one that leads to progress, and I was right. Swallow Trail. Swallow Tails or Swallow Trails? I used to be an evil chest aboard the Glorious. Thanks for inspiring me. Swallow Tails. Trails would have been thematically fitting, I guess. Then it also would have translated as Miracle. Because yes, part of this series is that Kiseki translates as both Trail and Miracle. So most of the series titles can also be read as The Miracle of X. I do have enough for another Onyx Gem. But that means I probably won't have enough for another Gold Gem or Silver. No, I do actually have enough for a Silver Gem. Okay, Joshua is the only one here who doesn't have an Onyx Gem, so he can take that. I think the rest of us should be okay. So as we're going through here, I talked about some... Okay, apologies for the music cut, I was checking my map. We need to go this way first, because this dead ends a lot faster. Hello there, would you like a Supreme Evil Eye? I love the fact that you do get to use the entire party for the final dungeon. I said before that this game is great for letting you experiment with a lot of different party combinations, and nowhere is that more apparent than here. There's a lot of ways you can go through this dungeon. I don't think I've really seen Abyss fall that much. It was something that I did kind of span back in my SC playthrough, but it's actually not really all that efficient for its cast time, cost, and damage. Dark Matter EX and Calamitous Blast I find are a lot better. Genestic Barrier. Speaking of things you don't see that often. That is a complete arts guard, however, it's not going to protect you from being shot in the face, even though it's an Orbital gun, which technically should be considered arts damage. And I really wish they were. I mean, Olivier would be so much better if Orbital guns actually did arts damage in this game. Artemis Heals. These are the kinds of stories that turn into legends. Of heroes, you could say. A lot of people do actually, like, not to be negative, but a lot of people feel like the Legend of Heroes name might actually hold Trails back when it comes to getting more attention, because it does sound pretty generic. Another Gabriel's Aura. Promise me we'll meet again. Well, I suppose the first time I heard that was my, my first playthrough of this game, and now this is my third. Test run on Nightmare, and now playing through it for you all. Because I may have gone into this before, but here I can go into a bit of my history with the Trail series, and particularly the Sky arc. But in order to do that, I first have to talk about my history with the Cold Steel arc, because that was how I started with Trails. So, I saw Trails of Cold Steel, like, 2. This was 2016. I had just finished my final exam for university. So, I finally had a lot of free time on my hands after about, like, I was at uni for, like, 5.5 years. So, this has been my first real big break for a long time. And I actually discovered the game a little bit before I finished, but I thought, okay, I'm going to hold off on buying it until I finish all my exams and I'm completely done, because otherwise, yeah, you know, I wanted to really be able to savor it. So it was kind of like a reward for finishing my my uni course's exams. I went and got Cold Steel 1, because when I first saw it, I thought it looked like shovelware. I thought that it was just generic anime-style harem crap, and, well, it's a little ironic thinking of it that way, given that certain people would later come to think of it that way in the overall fandom. But, anyway, then I looked up reviews online, and I found out that it was considered very, very good, and it got a lot of praise from reviewers. Another Celeste Blue. Empty. Oops. In particular, I remembered it because A while back, I had seen videos, I think it was actually Mage Knight 404 who was playing it, a ROM hack called a Fire Emblem ROM hack called The Last Promise. And that game used Silver Will, although I didn't know it was Silver Will at the time, as its final boss theme. Or at least an arrangement of Silver Will. And I looked up Silver Will and found out that it came from an obscure PSP JRPG called Trails in the Sky FC. And back then, a mini-boss attacked us. Oh, I was worried that it would be a Tildorn. I was looking forward to seeing Tildorns before, and now I am really, really not. I don't like Tildorns anymore. You guys are... Okay, you are actually weak to Shadow Spear, though, which I guess I could try here. Although, you know what? I'm Joshua S-Breaking, because he's kind of set up for S-Break spam, and it would be remiss of me not to make use of that. Estelle actually is too, so I probably should be using her S-Breaks more often. But back to what I was saying. So yeah, I looked that up, and then I found out that, like, I saw some, like, drama online over the fact that they had chosen to localize a game in the series called Trails of Cold Steel instead of the chronological next game, Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure, and they were skipping those games. Apparently it happened because, like, Falcom had actually told them, they had actually told Exceed that Cold Steel and Crossbell can be played in any order, so that's actually why Exceed ended up skipping the Crossbell games. That turned out to be kind of a lie when it came to Cold Steel 3 and 4, but for Cold Steel 1 and 2, I guess that made sense. So yeah, like, it seemed like a good idea at the time to localize those first, because they're on a more popular console, the PS3. It's kind of funny to talk about the PS3 being a popular console, but, like, it really was at the time. It's just kind of amazing that we're already up to PS5, but anyway, the long story short is, I read those articles, but I really wasn't interested in that series at the time. So, it wasn't until I actually started playing Trails of Cold Steel for the first time that I instantly got hooked. The weird thing is, I discovered the Trails series at around exactly the same time that I first started watching Critical Role, like a Dungeons & Dragons livestream, and it's kind of weird how I kind of got hooked on two sort of story and character-driven RPG kind of things that were both very different. I remember back when I first played Cold Steel 1, I kept thinking about what things would be like if it was a D&D campaign, and my headcanon was that the infamous Reen and Elisa moment was the result of them both rolling a natural 1 on their dexterity check for falling down the hole there, but that's a completely different issue. So yeah, I played Cold Steel 1, I really, really loved it. It just so happened that Cold Steel 2, hi Tildorn. Oh, didn't quite get a preemptive, that's not good. I think this party is a little bit more resistant to confusion than the other one. I hope you can be delayed, Tildorn. You cannot be delayed. Right, what are you weak to? Time, like a lot of things in here. It's usually either time or space. But yeah, Cold Steel 2 happened to get localized pretty much exactly when I beat Cold Steel 1. So that was very convenient if you know how Cold Steel 1 ends. Actually, what do I steal from you? Celestial Balm. That's a full revive. That's actually decent. See, that was convenient. So, like, mid-2016, I started playing Cold Steel 2, and I really, really liked that game. And then I said before that... Actually, I didn't play Trails of Cold Steel first. I actually played Crossbell first. But no, not really. You are done speaking lies, so I can stop speaking lies. I said during the Abyss that I didn't want to be that guy who only played the modern accessible games in the series and didn't play the originals. I interrupt this to give chess quotes. The chess glares as if it wants to say, "You got any special reason for taking that? It's okay, I'll wait." Yes, tablet. The chess seems shy. You give it a modest pat-pat on top of its lid. Then it falls in love with you because you were secretly Reen. Akashic R. All the items here are pretty amazing, aren't they? Use them well. Yeah, they are. Unless you have Zemurian weapons. So yeah, I went back and played Trails in the Sky, and as I've said many times before, I did not like Trails in the Sky FC the first time I played it, because I came right on the heels of the cliffhanger of Cold Steel 2 and Cold Steel 1, and I was thinking like, come on, when's Ouroboros gonna show up? The slice of life thing just really, like the slow-paced slice of life, I wasn't really into it, but FC is a game that the more I play it, the more I appreciate it, and as I keep playing the Sky Arc, because I decided very soon after I played Cold Steel 1 that I wanted to Let's Play the Trails series. Because I knew there weren't very many Trails Let's Plays, like fully in-depth, like walkthrough style Trails Let's Plays on YouTube, so I wanted to try and fill that void, but I also wanted to show more people this series and why I loved it so much. And originally, I was gonna start with Cold Steel 1, and then play 2, and then do the 3 Sky games as an extended flashback in between Cold Steel 2 and Cold Steel 3. I eventually decided to start out playing Sky FC because I think I already talked about this back in the Sky SC playthrough, but it was because, again, I wanted to give the more obscure games a chance, and I wanted to kind of show people this series from the beginning, even though it is a little bit slow-paced early on. I'm definitely not one of those, you must play the games in release order people, because honestly, I actually really, like, they are my second least favorite aspect of the Trails fandom, the first being the Singer haters. You're almost there, keep going. The chest presents you an invitation to its birthday party. And just like that, we're already done with this area, and wow, Josette and Chloe are really behind. I may have to off-camera grind them, which sounds weird, because I don't want to be going into this underleveled. Like, this one, I said that the Crimson Lizard is the easiest of these bosses. You still don't want to underestimate it, because it can be pretty rough. But here I am at the end of Trails in the Sky the Third, and I mean, it's admittedly a bittersweet feeling because I have begun to realize that the Trails series, like, on my channel has not exactly had the best reception in terms of my overall audience. Like, the people who do watch it like it, but I get the feeling that most people here are here for Fire Emblem or Persona and really aren't so interested in Trails. And admittedly, Sky the Third is a very hard sell, because you kind of have to have played the first 2 Sky games to really appreciate it, and it's also a niche game within a niche series. Something I could also mention is that Sky the Third was actually the least favorite Trails game among Trails fans in Japan in a popularity poll that was released for Falcom's, I think, 40th anniversary. Which I think is really a shame. Also, Kevin doesn't seem to be as popular in Japan as he is with, I would say overseas, but I don't think it's even that. Like, mostly just with people who like the Third. Like, I get that the Third lacks a lot of things that people play Trails for, like NPC conversations or towns or the world, but I think its standalone story is great. I think Kevin is completely amazing. He is one of the greatest fictional characters of all time, and I'll go more into that once we start progressing forward with Team Kevin. And a lot of people who haven't played it have this notion that Sky the Third is skippable, and they think that really the only things that are relevant later on are Stardor 15 and some of Kevin's backstory, and like, honestly, it just hit me. It reminds me a lot of Persona 3 The Answer. In fact, it's very similar to Persona 3 The Answer, except expanded into a full game and a lot more content to it, and I feel a lot more substantial than Persona 3 The Answer, but it's kind of disliked for the same reasons, I just realized. But I personally find it a bit underrated, and those who do, like, who have played Sky the Third tend to really, really like it. It's just that not a whole lot of people talk about it when it comes to the Trails series. I will say, however, that Sky the Third, playing later arcs, like Cold Steel 4 especially, Sky the Third is very, very much not skippable. And you won't really realize why just yet, but a lot of aspects of Zemuria's cosmology and its general, like, the way that it functions I feel like Phantasma is gonna play a bigger role in that as things go. Phantasma seems like a preview of sorts. I can't say in full because I don't know where the series is going to go from here, but I have a suspicion that, I'll just say that Cold Steel 4 references Phantasma a lot. And I feel like there's no way that could be a coincidence. I think I just found a weapon. Huh, it was a weapon for Estelle. But it's worse than what she has in terms of strength, significantly, so I don't think that's worth it, even if it raises other stats. Oh, it's actually Chloe who's the last to reach level 140 of this party. Josette was the one who was ahead. And there we go. Everybody is at level 140 and Joshua's at level 141, and that makes me feel kind of bad, but, well, it is what it is. I guess we're a little bit stronger going into these guys' last fight. So to conclude what I was saying, I say right now, Sky the Third is not skippable, because Kevin's story is amazing, the music is fantastic, and it has the best gameplay in the Sky arc. But later on, I get the feeling that this game is going to be not skippable for very, very different reasons. That grind gave a lot of quartz though, so let's make, I especially want another ruby gem at least. Might as well get another 2. Take one of those, another onyx gem. I can grab another water gem. And that means that Joshua can upgrade to Ruby Gem here, which will give him Cyclone Napalm. I think Estelle's previous setup wasn't really working for me, so I've swapped over to one that has Zodiac without sacrificing much strength, so more of a generalist setup, which, well, it's perfect that Estelle is having one of those for the very end, because that's pretty much what she's designed to do. As for Chloe, I could give her a Ruby Gem for Cyclone Napalm, but that will get rid of most of her best healing. I probably have more than enough, like, healing items, though, to cover that. And I need information on someone, so Joshua's gonna have to take that. And now, the last Master's Hot Pot. And with a few more ice cream on Joshua, that puts us up to 200 CP on everyone. Somebody here needs to take a Grail Locket. I'll give that to Joshua. Even though this enemy is going to be using a lot of area attacks, I think we can probably afford to all be bunched up here. Preventing Confuse is going to be very useful this fight, but I'm kind of counting on Joshua just to S-break everything away. And Josette's only word in that cutscene was screaming. Poor Josette.